All right, it is showtime. Lupagus upgraded his dial-up internet immediately and is ready to roll.
I had to adjust the antenna, spit on it, rub it, but it's looking good now.
All right. Well, it's been a wee bit of a minute since we've been live. I'm excited. A lot to talk about.
Yeah, it's been so long. I forgot what to do. I don't even remember how to be live, how to even do this. So it's gonna be like getting on the old bike again, taking the seat off and hopping back on that bike.
Generally, you want to keep the seat on, much more comfortable, depending on what the situation is. But let's give her a minute, see if anybody hops on before we dive deep into the Vikings.
Look what came out. It's only August, but the best beer in the world is out. Oktoberfest. So excited.
This just came out too, and it's way better.
That's been out for years, and it's fine. Lacks the heartiness and the flavor. It's like drinking autumn in a glass.
I used to know an autumn. SSM Creations in the house, already excited about KJ Osborne and Oliudo, and I don't blame them.
Yeah.
Not sure if your mic is on, Onebar.
Yeah, it's been sounding weird to me too. I've been messaging
you. I appreciate you giving me a heads up on that. Thank you.
I wrote in the chat like 5 minutes ago.
Apologize. I'm going to fix it.
Look at that. Voila.
Much better.
Much better. SSM, thank you for bringing that to my attention. Lupagus sure the hell was not going to.
You're not reading the chat.
Leaf Comrade, hello from Eureka, California.
What a hell of a brand of vacuum cleaners back in the day.
Mark Easton in the house. Darrisaw and Davis on the field. You're damn right they were. Damn right they were.
It's about damn time.
Julian Marker seeing some very familiar faces. Very familiar faces.
It's like having a high school reunion. Which of these guys I'm going to take home?
All right. Well, there was some good news. Spoiler alerts. Wyatt Davis and Darrisaw back on the field. We'll definitely be talking about that. Talking about all the tidbits from training camp and more. School from Moorhead, Eric Anderson.
Hell yeah.
Strumming that guitar.
So much to talk about. It's been so long. And training camp is just hot and heavy, rolling along. So many things coming out of that already. So yeah. Look, he's already dropping dropping a hashtag swag already.
Dropping the swag.
Maybe they'll get one of these Colts like this.
You're the shit, sir. You are the shit. Irv is looking like a stud. He had like 3 touchdowns again today. Viking Jerome in the house. Skull from Idaho.
That's Ida's skull. Ida's skull. So you should
North
say that.
Dakota in the house.
Nope. Why not? I don't know how to say that. I always get it wrong.
That's Minot.
Minot.
Jay, you can tell me if I butchered that, but I believe it's Minot.
You might be right. You might be onto something.
All right, we're gonna wait. We're gonna give it about 2 more minutes, and we're hopping into this. Anybody drinking any beers out there? If so, what is it? We all know Lupagus is very, very proud of his Sam Adams.
Excited, not proud.
Mono Meaty, our man. Vancouver, Canada or California? Correct pronunciation. I nailed Minot.
Good for you.
Can't
well
wait.
Done.
Can't wait
Is
to
he
tell
flicking it off in his picture?
I'd like to think he's flicking you off.
That's not very nice.
Sprite tonight, Julian Marker.
God damn it, Julian. It's not the same.
Only time I have Sprite is if I got a little bit of a bellyache, maybe a little sick dogfish. Jesus.
SS Creations is drinking Life's beer, ice water.
Well, SSM, I don't know. I don't think he's old enough, so I'm glad to hear that. Idaho.
I think he needs to start an ad campaign for water.
Life's all right, beer. Screw this. Let's do it. Let's talk Vikings. Let's just hop into it. Comments, you guys fill those comments the whole time on your thoughts. I'm sure everybody's keeping very close tabs on the Vikings as well. But where do you want to start?
Well, let's just start with some surprises from camp so far. And to me, one of the biggest ones is just this wide receiver group as a whole. Obviously Jefferson, Thielen looking great, but we got guys, KJ Osborne stepping up, looking great. Amir Smith-Marsette's been making plays. You got Whop Phillier making plays. Blake Proles had some good days. So this wide receiving core as a whole is looking very, very good. And there's gonna be some tough decisions, I think, for the Vikings coaches here at the end of the camp in preseason.
Yeah, and the best part is everybody you just mentioned. You didn't even mention Jefferson or Thielen, and those guys are having outstanding camps. Justin Jefferson looks ridiculous what he's doing out there.
Ridiculous?
Yes, ridiculous. He is going to put up a big year. No sophomore slump for this guy, and not only that, but he's going to help open things up for Thielen, and Thielen could have just a ginormous year as well. So, yeah, these receivers getting very excited.
Yeah, and it's going to be crazy because you look down the depth chart, who are they going to keep? How many are they going to keep? BC Johnson obviously out with the injury. No one likes to see that. Chad Beebe's been kind of quiet, but, he's a coaching staff favorite. I'm wondering if one of these undrafted guys is going to sneak on the roster. Well, that's going to be the biggest question.
SSM, we weren't invited to this party. Well, upset about that, but very responsible. Well done. I think the receivers, it's going to come down to how many they keep. I think I could easily see them just keeping 5. We've seen them keep frickin' 4. Can't believe I just threw a frickin' bomb out there. Are we continuing on the surprise themes here?
Yeah, I'd like to. You got another one for me?
Jelly Monster. It's been a wee bit for the Jelly Monster.
The old Jelly Monster. I'm so glad he's still around.
Let's see. Surprises. Well, it might be a little bit forced, but I'm very surprised how Jake Browning is handling getting chucked into that number 1 quarterback spot for the last couple practices. And Zimmer was raving about him today in his press conference, just basically saying he was surprised as far as just his leadership too. I mean, he's much more confident. He's had some shaky moments by no means, but Jake Browning might actually be worthy of a backup quarterback in this league. And you know what? It might be for the Vikings.
And he might just force the Vikings to keep 3 quarterbacks on the roster this year. We've already talked about it, but he's playing that well. Yeah, he's not lights out. It's not perfect, but coming from a guy who was an undrafted, free agent rookie, comes on team, misses his second season due to COVID, loses all those reps. He has been studying the offense, but now he's getting inserted right in. He's going raw dog. And he's making the most of this opportunity. So you gotta love what you see from Jake Browning so far. And you kind of mentioned my next surprise already.
I'm sorry, I do have mildly breaking news.
What's that?
Julian Marker, BC hurt his knee.
Oh my God, that's really witty. Him and SSM Creations need to start their own marketing campaigns.
Yep. Well done, Julian Marker. Well done. All right, sorry, continue.
Well, my next surprise from camp was just Mike Zimmer's attitude. You never heard him in year past heap praise on players. He's been raving with Daniel Hunter. He's been raving with Jake Browning. Then how honest he's been with his frustrations with these guys who aren't getting vaccinated. Zimmer's kind of showing a new side of himself. He's kind of like just F it. He's letting it all hang out. And I kind of like this new Mike Zimmer we've been seeing.
Yeah, he's saying F it because he knows he's got to win this year. He is all in, and he's getting a little pissed off. It's going to be very interesting to see Zimmer and Kirk Cousins, how that continues on through the season. Clearly, he's not happy with the whole vaccine thing, which we're not going to get into whatever way you fall on it. But it's going to be a big talker, no doubt about it, throughout the season. And you're right, Zimmer has been very, I don't know, just a little more relaxed.
Yeah, what did he say? Even like
it's just doesn't give a shit attitude.
Yeah, I mean, I know the one example I think of was Everson Griffin last year. He came back to town and Zimmer called him an okay player. But this year he seems like maybe because he wasn't technically on his team, but he just seems like he's throwing compliments. He just doesn't do that. So I like it. Another surprise to me, we already mentioned him, Daniel Hunter, though. To me, there was question marks. Is he going to look like he did in the past? Is he going to be slower? Is he missed a step? Everything I've heard sounds like this guy is just poised for his best season yet.
Yeah. That's one of my surprises. Like you just said, the fact that he's already out there, I wouldn't have been surprised one bit if they just had him sitting there in shorts, holding the helmet, watching for the first few weeks. So that is a wonderful, wonderful sign to see that beautiful specimen of a man ripping shit up, and he is looking damn good.
Yeah, he is making the Vikings O-line look silly, which isn't hard to do, but he's making it look very, very silly.
I gotta. What's that?
I'm just I'm thanking Tim for his luscious and gracious comment.
Tim Voss,
what a guy.
Show favorite Tim Voss. Another surprise. I got a surprise. This isn't a fantastic surprise by any means, and that's the fact that Dakota Dozier is still being rotated in with the ones. Scares the shit out of me. I know they're doing goofy stuff with the offensive line. I know they're just trying to get some people out there, see what they got. Ole Udo, which I'm sure we'll talk about. But the fact that he's still in the mix, I think there's actually a mild, legit shot that he could actually start week 1.
Well, it's frustrating. This frustrated us last year. They kept rolling this guy out game after game. Sucks every single time he's out there. It was a little bit hidden the first quarter of the season because Drew Samia came in, Pat Elflein played, and they were so much worse. But everybody knew Dakota Dozier was a turd. Every team we played knew it. It was a huge disadvantage. Vikings re-signed him, number one, which was a huge mistake. And now they're putting him in the starting reps again. So hopefully Wyatt Davis coming back today starts to get worked in. Him or Ole Udo, that's what I think every Vikings fan is hoping for we see at right guard, not Dakota Dozier again. But you're right.
Well, I mean, let's be clear. We're hoping for anything. I would take Blake Brandel at right guard, who I don't think has ever played right guard. I would take anybody there over Dakota Dozier.
I would put your mom at right guard.
She'd probably be a hell of a guard. Maybe a Pro Bowler.
Underrated athlete is what she is.
Underrated. What else you got for surprises?
I got a couple more. I got one more. Just the wrinkles we're seeing on offense and defense. On defense, we've seen DJ Wanham line up as an outside linebacker. On offense, Delvin Cook's been doing some wildcat. So the fact the Vikings are already putting these wrinkles in, whether they use them or not, at least they're there. Maybe other opponents are hearing about these. And I hope we do see some of these carry over into the season. I want to see Mike Zimmer get creative. I just feel like so many years he just stuck with his plan, whether it's working or not. So I like this creativeness that we're seeing so far in camp, and I hope it carries over.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet to see them messing around with that. Zimmer did say in the press conference today, which took a little bit of wind out of my sails, as far as somebody asked him, like, as far as DJ Wanham, outside linebacker, he said, we're just doing that to throw a wrinkle in the offense, to mix things up, because that's what opposing teams will do. I don't believe them. I think they are going to get a little goofy.
Yeah, I agree too. I agree. I think he's not going to tip his hand right now if it's real or not, but you can't really practice this without it getting out anymore, with all the fans that are there with their cameras and all these reporters. So yeah, I hope it's something we see. I want to see freaking safeties playing linebacker. I want to see Delvin Tomlinson dropping into coverage. I want to see.
That's the dumbest thing I ever heard.
I want to see craziness.
That's too crazy. And
every now and then.
Michael Skoll, it's a valid point. You're right. Drew Samia is still on this roster, and I said anybody, so I take that back. Cam or Breland, you think for DB2? I think it's wide ass open right now. Just Lupagus's butt cheeks on a Saturday night, wide open. I think this is going to be a great one to watch. Great one.
I have a very flexible Tuckus
from Texas.
Yeah, to me, that's probably, when it comes to the starters, that's probably the one job that's the most intriguing, the most up for grabs, especially on the defensive side of the football. Dancers look great. Brelands look great. Who's going to win that spot? It's going to be exciting.
Nicholas Traynor, a little southern Minnesota in the house. We got any northern Minnesota around these parts? Come on now.
Look at his puppy. I want to scratch his belly.
Okay, I'm moving on from that. All right, let's go to a little bit more of a depressing subject. And again, hit us up in the comments on what you're thinking. What are some disappointments?
Well, I think it's been the injuries. You want to see your first round rookie get out there right away. Finally, Christian Darrisaw gets on the field. Wyatt Davis is the same thing. We got two guys who are going to be key to this whole line this year, missing all these snaps, falling behind. Again, I don't know if they're going to start week one or not, but the fact that these guys are getting back into the rotation makes me feel a little bit better. But it was very disappointing seeing those guys get hurt and miss so much playing time.
Yeah, I mean, my disappointment is just the 2021 draft class overall. I mean, Kellen Mond now is out on the COVID list. Darrisaw injured, Wyatt Davis injured, Chaz Surratt. I mean, we know he's a project, but he's out there with the third, fourth team. Cam Bynum is getting smoked. I mean, these guys are still going to make the team, but our draft class so far has just been nothing. I mean, Smith Marset, he's had some good plays.
He's been about the one. I haven't heard anything about Zach Davidson since camp started. I heard him in OTAs, nothing much from him now. You get, Jalen Twyman gets shot before the season, not his fault, but again, he's not out there. So just, yeah, you're right. I guess the class as a whole has been pretty sad.
I mean, I'm not like down on him by any means, but usually there's a rookie that's just really standing out at this point. And just, I should give Nwangu some love. He's been getting, he's probably the one that has stuck out the most, getting the most reviews as far as just how fast this dude is. And I think he's going to have a fantastic rookie year, mostly on special teams, but he's going to be nice. And Mark Easton, yes, Hercules did something to that groin today. I didn't see any follow-up. So if anybody saw that, but they said he was hurting for certain.
Yeah, but I mean, does it really matter? Was he going to make the team? To me, he was a fringe guy at best. There's so much more depth now on the D line. I can't see Hercules making the team. So ice that groin, and maybe get on the practice squad. Maybe find a new team, Hercules.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna have a moment with Hercules, and I am gonna ice my groin too in honor of him. Our Emmer 33, lack of kicking competition scares the piss right out of him. That piss is flowing right out of him.
Do you think he's Ari Emmer because he's a big fan of REM?
I don't know.
I think he's listening to Night Swimming right now as he ices his groin.
We'll see. We'll see. SSM Creations is on board. Does not see Hercules making the team.
I don't either.
I think he's a long shot. The fact that he can play inside and outside, a little bit of a jump, but yeah, he's got a tough battle. Disappointments. Any other than that?
I know we don't want to get into the fact that the Vikings have the lowest vaccination rate in the NFL is a little disappointing, 64%. I mean, especially these guys who need to have this to actually make the team, like the Nate Stanleys of the world. Obviously, it's a personal choice, but that we are just stuck with this many players that are making that decision, a little frustrating. You talk about the Vikings this year, a couple things could sink this ship, and that's definitely one. If somehow they get hit by COVID, starters can't play, you're forced to put backups in there. For a team that's poised, I really think they're poised to make a deep run. This is something that could set them back.
Yeah, and the shitty part is not only that, but when it gets down to it, so the Vikings are technically they're at 70% as far as not fully vaccinated, but obviously someone would have one shot, whatever it is. But when they actually, if it comes down to the point where they lose a game or they have to forfeit a game, and there's players that are vaccinated and they get pissed, I mean, this is something that could actually tear apart that fucking locker room. This goes for any team, but the Vikings being so low, they have the biggest chance of this happening. So Zimmer has made his stance very clear where he stands on this, and I could see him just blowing a gasket if this comes down to losing a game.
Yeah, it's crazy, and you obviously can't force anybody to do anything to their own bodies. But
Julian Marker, I think he put something in that Sprite.
Did you see? No, who just said Patrick Harms? He will throw a fit if Herc doesn't make the team. He'll throw a fit. He's gonna be so angry.
Well, hey, Patrick Harms. By the way, I look forward to that little package in the mail. We cut his ass flat out last year, and nobody signed him. So
he called.
I don't know if anyone will snatch him up.
Well, I want to see video of this fit he's gonna throw. Is he gonna like cry? Is he gonna throw like a vase of flowers against the wall? Is he gonna throw the scrambled eggs off the table? I want to know what's going on.
Patrick Harms, if and when he gets cut, we expect if you send us a video of your reaction of that cut, it will be on one of our episodes. There's no doubt about that. It'll be the episode. It'll be called Patrick Harms' reaction to Hercules.
It'll be Patrick Harms fit.
Mono Matey, I think Zylstra could beat out Zach Davidson for third string tight end. Swag. He wants it.
I haven't heard shit about Zylstra, and to me, it's Brandon Dillon and Zach Davidson battling for that tight end 3 spot. Everybody knows my love for Brandon Dillon, and it continues to grow. But I am worried this may be his final camp with the Vikings.
Well, I got to ride the elevator with Brandon Dillon just 2 days ago.
Oh my God.
He's a big guy. He's a very tall specimen. But Zylstra, he's got practice squad written all over him. I think next year, depending on what happens, I think he's a guy who could push to make the team. And I'm not just saying that because I love Zylstra, but he's pretty fast.
A couple comments we should put up here. First of all, Patrick Harms defending his boy. He's defending Hercules, the way Hercules couldn't defend the Intercontinental Championship when he won it. He says he doesn't have to worry about that video because he will make the team.
You know, I'm not completely writing that off. I'm not saying he's not gonna. They clearly like the guy. He's been around for a while. SSM Creations loving his confidence, as do I. Julian Marker, KJ Osborne, wide receiver number 4. Shit, he might be wide receiver number 3.
Well, Mike Zimmer said today that D.D. Westbrook's far away from actually getting into 11-on-11s, whatever. So
I don't like that.
We might not even see. Westbrook could be the next Kendall Wright for all we know.
Well, they depending on where he's at, they might put him on the IR or whatever. But he was out there when I was there. He was out there fielding punts. He was running all over the place, and I really hope he's closer than that. Viking Jerome wants Bush Jones.
I can't believe
Bush Jones. He's actually like a Bronco or something now, isn't he?
I didn't know he was still in the league. I thought he retired with Todd Davis. I thought they hung him up together, dancing the party boys.
He's a Denver Bronco.
Wow. Well, good for Bush. Good. For, you know what's his name's over there? He knows his talent. He brought him in. I can't think of his name. George Patton.
All right, let me see if I'm caught up on these comments here.
Oh, there was one I wanted. Rudolph Steiner, Philosophy of Freedom, says, if all the wide receivers look good, it means the D-backs suck. I disagree with that.
Yeah, I do disagree with that. I think the D-backs, it's going to be night and day this year. I mean, we got to have realistic expectations for Patrick Peterson, where he'll probably be good, not great. But I think our D-backs are going to be they're going to be the key to this Vikings team success, no doubt about it. And I think they got some good ones there. Mackenzie Alexander, let's talk about that. I mean, even Zimmer's talking about, he said today that Mackenzie Alexander was basically a pain in the ass when he was with the Vikings the first time. Last year really set him straight. He came back. He said he's got a completely different attitude. He has been, I don't even know how he said it, but basically he's here and he's ready to kick some ass. And all the reviews are saying that he is.
Well, I mean, you're not going to win every single play on defense. You're not going to win every single play on offense. So I think these guys are battling. Sometimes D-backs win. Sometimes wide receivers win. And I'm very confident in our defensive back core, our cornerback core this year. And compared to where it was a season ago, I'm very excited to see these guys get out there and do their thing.
Yeah, and SSM Creations, well done, sir. Hot Todd Davis, a salute for his retire. You're damn right. Todd Davis calling her quits. I still can't believe he's only 29 years old.
Frickin' Davis. Never great in coverage. What a tackler, though.
He was a thumper. You need 9 tackles a game? Todd Davis is your guy. You want a thumper that might make the opposing team shit their pants? Todd Davis is your guy. You want somebody out on third down and linebacker? Todd Davis is not your guy.
He was like the Leroy Horde of linebackers.
It's a hell of a compliment.
Yeah, I know it was.
Michael Skoll giving Hunter some love, lead the league in sacks. Might be on something.
Joker Nation just said you're really not liking the Samia and Dozier on the first team. Don't look too much into that. I think you can't read too much into what you're seeing. It's the 6th day, 7th day of camp, whatever it is right now. Don't read in too much. This is what the Vikings do. They start the veterans and they'll work the guys who are actually going to start. Davis has been dinged up. Oli Udoh has been actually very, very impressive. He's filled in at right guard, starting ones. He's played some left tackle with the ones. So Oli Udoh is rising. I don't think we're have to worry about the Samia and Dozier thing. I don't even think Samia is making this team.
I'm gonna give it a preseason game to see really where things land before I go that far. I don't think he's completely gone. I mean, do I hope he's gone? Kind of. But Manomidi, yes, I actually surprised. I figured we would have seen one of those before training camp. That's kind of Viking style, and we didn't. So we'll see what shakes out there.
Well, it's going to be, I mean, Harrison Smith, 1-year deal. We'll see what happens.
They need to sign Hitman to about a 10-year deal. Okay. He's worth it.
I love his new hair. It looks really nice. I'm going to smell it. It smells like Pert Plus.
Julian Marker, new tattoo on Friday. You got to send that over, man.
Yeah. We're going to need a pic. I want to see that as your profile pic. I hope it's somewhere below the waist and above the ankles.
It's a tramp stamp. You got a tramp stamp for Vikings tattoo. Yes. Douglas is he's spot on. Different combos all through training camp preseason. So We just gotta by preseason game 2, we're gonna start to get a real feel for it when Drew Samia's ass is walking out there in the fourth quarter to finally get in. We're gonna be like, all right, fine, he's gone. Joker Nation, absolutely. Big Irv. He is gonna show up this year. Irv Smith, 60 receptions, 7+ touchdowns, and a shit ton of yards. He is gonna be a big old part of this offense.
Yeah. The quarterbacks are looking to him. He is going to be huge. I think a lot of D-backs are going to be focused on Thielen and Jefferson. It's going to open up shit for Irv Smith Jr. He's going to take advantage. So I'm very, very, very excited about Irv Smith Jr. this year.
Let's talk about some things we might not be excited about. Let's talk about some worries, not personal worries on the Vikings.
I'm worried about this lump I found on my shaft.
Well, I'm sure your local pediatrician will take a look at that.
I don't think I can go to those anymore. My number one worry with this team right now is the offensive line. I'm worried about it if everybody's healthy. You're going to probably have a starting rookie left tackle. Left guard is Ezra Cleveland, who's never actually played left guard in the NFL. Garrett Bradbury, who's been meh, and I think, again,
he's sucked.
If we are going to like nominate who we think is going to be the most turd of the game the most this year, I'm going to put Garrett Bradbury right up there. Right guard could be another rookie or a guy with no experience in Oli Udo, or it could be Dakota Dozier, who sucks. Right tackle, you got a stud. So left to three quarters right, there's very, very, very many questions. And to me, that is my number one worry. I got some more, but that's my top one.
Yeah, I mean, offensive line, until the Vikings prove otherwise, will every year in and year out, I don't care who they draft, I don't care who they bring in, but until they show they can actually be competent, that will be every Vikings fan's number one worry. But number two will, again, always be the kicker position until somebody just is here for like 7 years. It's going to take years and years to build up trust. Just like SSM Creation says, got to earn our trust, and it's a tough task to earn Vikings fans' trust when it comes to quarterbacks. And Greg Joseph, I'd say he's been okay. He hasn't been great. He hasn't been horrible, but he's been okay. And unfortunately, as of now, he has no competition because Riley Patterson is on the old pup ski.
He's riding that bike like a Peloton commercial that never ends. Kicking game worries me too. That was my second one. Greg Joseph hasn't kicked a field goal in the NFL, attempted a field goal since 2018. Hit some extra points 2019, hasn't kicked since. I feel like his last couple of days have gotten better at camp kicking, but overall, this worries the hell out of me. We mentioned in a video, I don't know if it was earlier today or yesterday, our kicker might not be on the team right now. It might be one of these guys who get cut late in the season and we sign, and he comes in week 1, never kicking with the Vikings, and he's our kicker. But we'll see. I still hope Greg Joseph can win it. Yeah,
I hope Riley Patterson gets back in time where Greg Joseph can have some competition, because if it's just Greg Joseph out there and we don't see anybody else, it's going to be terrifying. I mean, I want somebody to light a fire up his ass. I mean, I still think it's Greg Joseph's job to lose, but come on, Riley, hop off that bike. You got a spot to win here.
Yeah, and there's one more worry I have, and we already talked about it. It's the COVID thing. If we're the team that has guys doing this 5-day COVID protocol crap, missing games, missing time, that is going to sink the ship. And again, you mentioned too, it could create internal turmoil. It could create a schism, as Brad Childress used to say, and it could just ruin this whole season. So
schism was Mike Tice, I believe.
I think it was the Brad Childress era. What to look.
Well, anyways, Matt Jelly Monster, he's got some news as well.
Tits. Good tits right off him. Hey, can jelly get old? Is it like honey? Does it have an expiration date?
I don't know. You're right. It was Brad Childress. I'm a fool.
No, well, you're right about how to say "my not."
Thank you. Kicker, offensive line. Other than that, when you really look at things from top to bottom, there's not a ton of things to be scared about. I mean, worry is all these new guys on defense coming together early to put it together. I mean, I don't know who it was. Was it someone from the Athletic? Somebody ranked the Vikings to be the number 1 defense this year, and they were fairly prominent.
You know, they could be. I mean, you look at all the guys they brought back, they get back. This defense is going to be a complete 360 from last year. So 180. I can't remember. I think I did that wrong.
It is a 180.
Yeah.
360 would bring you back to sucking.
A 180, much better. And yeah, I think this we're gonna get into expectations soon. I don't want to tip my hand, but I'm pretty excited about this team this year.
If jelly goes bad, I'm afraid I could see one of my grape jellies, my Smuckers, probably having the expiration date of the late 90s right now.
Yeah, you know, it's one of those canned goods that's got a lot of preserves in it. You think it would hold on for quite a while. I bet you it has a very long expiration date, though.
Do you have a recorder, a flute, or something you can play quick? I'm really tempted to go run and grab a beer.
Yeah, I'll just ramble. I'll ramble what you don't want to talk about.
I did want to comment quick on it, so don't get too far in it. Why don't you?
I'll read some comments.
There you go. Let's
right.
do a. I wish we had a good trivia question. How about this? Let's see some comments on who the Vikings. I'm trying to think of a good one here. I don't want to say rookie of the year. That's too easy. Who will be the surprise Vikings player this year that at the end of the year we're going to be like, holy shit, I did not expect him to be that good. How about that?
That's pretty good. Surprise Viking player. So he's got to make the team?
Well, no shit. He's got to make – yeah.
Yeah, we can talk about that. Also, guys, let me know. I want to see some candidates for Mr. Mankato, who is going to end up being the training camp stud. We already obviously have some front runners for that. So let's talk about surprise player of the year, Mr. Mankato. What we got? SSM Creations. Actually, I hate to say this, but I've always been a fan of forest green, that dark green, darker than the Packers green. But obviously now purple is easily my favorite color. DJ Wanham, surprise of the year. Yeah, that could happen. I just, I'm a little concerned about how many reps he's going to get. I do feel like Stephen Weatherly is going to probably start. So Wanham's role might be more rotational. So that worries me a little bit. Everybody's talking about KJ Osborne. And this is the one thing that slows me on KJ Osborne. BC Johnson was that camp star last year. What was his role? His role was pretty much nothing until Adam Thielen went out. So I view KJ Osborne in a very similar light. Yeah, he looks great now, but is he actually going to get the reps enough to actually be the guy who that everybody thinks is, the star or the surprise player of the year? That's what worries me.
Well, yeah, and Alexander Hollins was a star last year, and his ass got cut.
Yeah, no, he's like the best receiver the Browns have ever seen.
I don't think so.
I think he went bad just like that jelly in your cupboard.
I used to keep mayo in my pantry, by the way. I didn't know that was supposed to be. That was my early 20s.
After you opened it?
I'd open it and I'd put it in my pantry, and I used it for a very long time.
Oh, my God.
All right, let's get caught up here. What I miss? Anything? I see a lot of KJ Osbornes.
A lot of KJ Osbornes. And like I said, I gave my 2 cents on it. I put him in the same category that BC Johnson was in last year. He
Bob
was
Swede.
He was holding off Justin Jefferson. And then what did he get? He had nothing.
Willie Beavers, Joseph Shea. Willie Beavers actually wasn't in the league. He seems to always just kind of pop up. I think he was on the Bears practice squad last year. I'm not kidding.
I'm pretty sure he's still in the league. That guy just hangs around like that freaking dingleberry you just can't wipe.
You should clean yourself better. He is an Atlanta Falcon still.
He's a Falcon. I didn't know he went to the Falcons.
Wow.
Saquon Treadwell's still there too?
I don't think so. This is a great question. Tim Versteeg, Pierce and Tomlinson versus Williams Wall. It's a good question, but it's an easy answer. This is Williams Wall.
Oh, it has to be. This
8 days a week.
Ask me again in 3 years.
There you go.
It'll change. But right now, it's got to be Williams Wall. Pat Williams was one of my favorite players ever.
And also, we got Sheldon Richardson behind those two too. We got some fantastic.
And Armand
Tomlinson
Watt.
and Sheldon Richardson. There's gonna be some beautiful 3 techs going on getting into that backfield.
Andre Patterson was dousing Armand Watts with he's rubbing praising lotion all over his body today.
So was Zimmer was as well. He said he has stepped in that Michael Pierce role. So I think I'm going to go ahead and say Armand Watts. 2 weeks ago, I was thinking otherwise. I think he is a shoo-in to make this team. He is Michael Pierce's backup, no doubt about it.
Oh, he's in. He's in like Flynn. He's in like Munda.
He is in. Let's. Where are we going to?
Well, let's talk about it. Obviously, big news this week. Vikings released their first-round pick from a year ago, Jeff Gladney, and rightfully so. This guy's indicted in federal battery charges. So no one here, I'm sure, disagrees with the fact that the Vikings let him go. to me, and this is always going to be a sore spot for me personally, and I'm sure many of you are going to feel the same way. And obviously, you can always go back and play what if. But the fact that the Vikings passed on Antoine Winfield Jr. to take Jeff Gladney is going to haunt me the rest of my days. It's just something I'm not going to be able to get over because – and here's the thing. There was a lot of other players the Vikings could have took instead of Jeff Gladney. And Jeff Gladney at the time, like you said, that's where he's supposed to go, late first, early second, that area. But Antoine Winfield, here's the thing. This guy is, he comes from Viking royalty, the son of Antoine Winfield. He grew up a Vikings fan, played at University of Minnesota, was a hell of a player. He's sitting there. He would have been a fan favorite, just a huge draw. Great player, and you don't take him. And now the guy you took instead is probably never going to play football again. And I'm just never going to get over it.
Well, you need to because it's done and it's over.
I'm not. Eat at me forever.
Here's why I'm not going to let this eat at me for the rest of my life is when the Vikings took Gladney, he had no prior concerns off the field. He filled a huge need. The Vikings cornerbacks, I believe, were Mike Hughes and Holton Hill going into that season. And we had Anthony Harris and we had Harrison Smith. While we know Anthony Harris was on his last year of his deal, they didn't think they were going to suck that bad last year, so they were all in. So adding Jeff Gladney to them was a good piece. Would I have loved Antoine Winfield? Would I have loved him? You were damn right I would have. But it made sense at that point, and it just blows because we'll never know what it would have been. I mean, this isn't a Demetrius Underwood situation. Underwood, when we took him, he had red flags all over him. And it was just like, what the hell are they doing? And with Jeff Gladney, the situation is completely disgusting and it blows and it's shit. But they cut their ties. It's over. And it doesn't bug me that much because, I mean, it's the fact that they picked him over Winfield because it made sense. He was the best corner on the board.
I was never a Gladney fan. I was never a fan of that pick. To me, there was like 6 other guys you could have got who were, to me, was the same talent level. Jalen Johnson was still there. Christian Fulton was still on the board. I like Winfield's versatility. He could play corner. He could play safety. We knew we were going to need a safety. Harrison Smith being older. Everybody knew Anthony Harris wasn't coming back after last year. So to me, it would have made a lot of sense to take Winfield and get your corner later. And they did. They got Cameron Dantzler, who turned out to be the better player anyway. So again, this is something that's always going to it's going to suck because Antoine Winfield just didn't continue to get better. And we're going to see it, and we're going to just have to watch this. But
they were under the impression that Jeff Gladney was going to continue to get better. And last year, he did continue to get better. They added him because of his toughness. He was a tough corner that loved to lay a big smack, and that's what he did. He wasn't a guy that was going to come in year one like Winfield and just make a big splash. So I'm sticking to my guns. At the time, they made the right pick.
He was a willing tackler. He had issues in coverage. Again, he had to learn. He was thrust into the starting lineup earlier than he needed to be. But again, I just think Winfield was a player they should have took. So, well,
it will clearly go down as one of the bigger busts in Vikings history. Whatever angle you look at it, the fact is he played 1 year and he's gone. The fact that somebody commented on the fact that they didn't let the process play out, I'm just assuming that the Vikings probably know more than they're letting out to let that happen. We'll see.
He could have played anyway.
I mean, the fact is he's gone. If all that stuff comes out that actually went down, then I don't think any Vikings fan is going to argue that they're upset that he's gone. So,
well, I mean, I don't want to get into this too much, but there was talk that he actually went to his girlfriend's and was trying to get her to delete messages just like a month ago. So something's off with that guy. To me, though, the Vikings prepared for this. They brought in Mackenzie Alexander, Patrick Peterson. I mean, you look at Rashad Breeland. So they knew this was going to probably happen, and they brought in the guys to replace him. So from an actual standpoint on the field, I think the Vikings can be just fine.
Yeah, we can look back at every single draft and say we should have drafted this guy. We should have drafted this guy. Every team can do it, and we'll continue to do it next year. And I mean, think back to Garrett Bradbury. We should have drafted anybody. I'm
still going to give Garrett Bradbury one last shot.
No, I'm giving him another shot, but he needs to start pulling it together. And SSM Creations, ask your thoughts on the Giants' big brawl and how Joe Judge handled it.
You know what he did? He went miracle on it.
He did.
Again,
it's funny.
again.
Yeah, he lost his shit, which it's kind of funny. I don't think you see that very often. And then forward, they're making him run, doing push-ups, all this other stuff. So we'll see. We'll see if it pans out for those Giants.
The worst thing with the whole brawl was who was on the bottom of it. Daniel Jones, their quarterback, has got 10 guys on top of him. So yeah, he was pissed. You got Danny Dimes. He can't be dropping dimes if he's on the bottom of a pile.
I bet people were whispering not very nice things to him down below that, and I would have been one of those guys. Pull your shit together, Danny Dimes. Come on now.
I love Danny Dimes. What a guy. What a player.
All right, let's what's next on the old list here?
I think it's just our expectations for the year. What are we thinking? I want to see what everybody thinks.
I want
to hear what you think.
I'll say expectations based off of the early training camp part. We'll get into expectations for the year as we get into it. But I mean, as a Vikings fan, right now I'm feeling pretty damn good. The whole COVID thing has me very scared as far as the vaccines and possibly missing some games, getting some L's without even playing. So that definitely is terrifying. But this defense, if you got any blood pumping in your body, you should be getting excited about this. So I'll let you go. I don't know if you want to do what type of predictions, but
I don't know how you can't be excited because the Vikings offense a year ago was third in the NFL. Everybody's pretty much coming back. Yes, you have some rookies probably going to play a lot in the O-line, which that's maybe not a bad thing. Justin Jefferson year 2. Adam Thielen looking great. Irv Smith just screaming breakout. 3 running backs I'm very excited about. So to me, this is actually going to be pretty damn exciting on the offensive side. And the defense, I mean, Danielle Hunter's back. Eric Kendricks is back. Anthony Barr is back. You add Delvin Tomlinson. You add Sheldon Richardson, Patrick Peterson, Mackenzie Alexander, Xavier Woods. I feel like the Vikings are just pushing all the chips this year. Mike Zimmer realizes this could be his final year, and they're going all in. So I'm expecting big things. I'm not going to put a record down, but I'm expecting a very deep run, so deep it'll put our butts to sleep.
Well, and not only put our butts to sleep, but there's you said it. Zimmer is all in. The Vikings are all in, and all these signings they've made, their expectations are they're going to not only make the playoffs, but make a little bit of a run. I think he could go. Where'd SSM just do it? He goes 13-4 and floors 8-9. So I think the ceiling where he's at, I think that's not overly crazy talk, but I think the floor could be even worse. I think it's going to be drastic. Either they are going to come out and whoop some ass, or they are going to completely shit the bed. I don't think there's going to be much in between.
Well, the only way his team shits the bed is if, Cousins is out an extended time, or there is a lot of guys missing time because of COVID. Other than that, I just don't see it. I think this team is just. I think it's stacked. And I'm not saying this through purple eyes. If I think they're going to suck, I'm going to say that I think they're going to suck. And I actually love the fact that Rodgers has come back because I want to beat his ass. I want to beat his ass twice this year. Nothing better than beating Aaron Rodgers. I don't care if it's at home. I don't care if it's at Lambeau. I don't care if it's somewhere else. Love beating Aaron Rodgers. I want to earn it.
Yeah, no, I agree wholeheartedly with you. There's I'm glad he's back. There's nothing better than beating Aaron Rodgers. DJ won him. Bam!
Why is that not on a shirt? Be on a shirt.
Damn.
So yeah, that's what I got. That's what we got. That is our. That's pretty much our live show today, isn't it? Anything else?
Well, I want to throw a little bit of a wrinkle here. Someone did mention Cameron Smith getting out there with the ones. I did see that too. And things are starting to point up. Like there's Wyatt Davis out there. Cam Smith. It'll be interesting to see what they do with linebacker. I still think when it comes to wide receiver, they could end up keeping just 5 of those and adding more on defensive line, maybe adding more in the linebacker spot. So that'll be a fun one to watch. But Nick Vigil, Troy Dye, that linebacker's going to be a fun one.
Blake Lynch. I mean, I like what we saw from last year.
Yes,
he was with the twos. Yeah, it'll be – they're definitely going to take from one position to give to the other. I do think they're going to add another quarterback this year. So what's gonna be short? They went with 2 safeties last year. I gotta think they're at least gonna do 3 this year with Bynum in the mix. So it's going to be crazy what they decide to do. But I think there's going to be one position that's just going to have a shit ton of guys. You're like, what the hell are they doing? They kept 15 defensive linemen. Something nuts.
Well, they might keep 11. You never know.
They might.
We'll see. We'll see. I do. I'm gonna throw a curveball at you here. I got two more. First off, give me a surprise at this point in time. We're not going to hold you to it. A surprise cut for the Vikings.
I'm going to go with D.D. Westbrook.
Okay. That's not
what. Well, he's hurt. He can't get out there. They brought him in. If he can't do his job, what's the point of keeping him? It was only a 1-year deal, wasn't it?
I think when they signed him, they knew that he was going to. I mean, they signed him so late. They knew what they were going to get from him. It's not like they're like, geez, I can't believe this guy isn't out there yet.
We've seen it before. These receivers brought in late don't make the team. Big name guys. He's somebody
I wouldn't really call Tajay Sharp big named. He wasn't injured either. He just wasn't very good.
Did he make the team though?
Tajay Sharp, yeah, he was inactive most time. This is a completely different scenario. I think Westbrook will be good to go, but it is a surprise. So I said surprise cut. So you gave us a surprise. I'm staying with receiver. Maybe this isn't as surprising, but I'm going Chad Beebe. I think with KJ Osborne showing up, I think with Smith Marset showing up, I think it's going to be a little bit of maybe a surprise cut. I really think they're only keeping 5 receivers. I'm sticking to my guns on that.
And the only thing that makes me think that Beebe's got a shot to stick around is the coaching staff loves this guy. I don't know why. He's a small guy with questionable hands, so that worries me. But when Gary Kubiak was here, he had nothing but love for Chad Beebe, and now his son's in charge, and I'm sure father passed that love down to his boy.
Well, here's what could happen. They put Beebe on the IR for the first whatever weeks, and then they bring him back, and then they get rid of Chad Beebe, makes him expendable. It's a win-win. We're both right.
Maybe.
Jason Bowman, Dozier, Jerome, Jalen Holmes, Harrison Hand. Huh?
I don't think Jalen Holmes would be that surprising, really. I think he's a fringe guy.
Well, here, let's go with the next question. A surprise make. Who's surprisingly going to make this team?
Well, and we've seen it before. Brandon Dillon a couple years ago. Last year, Dan Chisena. I'm going to go with one of these undrafted wide receivers. And
Tough Moreland?
My boy, not your boy. I'm going with Blake Prohl.
I like Blake Prohl.
Yeah,
that dude, I can't remember when I was at training camp. He made a great catch, and I think it was against. I don't think it was Peterson. It might have been Mackenzie Alexander, but it was a very tough catch, and he took that fucker in.
He's got hands, just like his old man.
Yes. My surprise make is actually somebody that somebody just mentioned, and it was Jalen Holmes. And I think he's a surprise make because at this point, with all his defensive linemen, if he made it, I think it would be a little bit of a surprise. So I can't believe he's only 25 years old still. It seems like he's been on this team for 20 years.
Looks like he's 42.
Well, he came back. He came back a little thicker, a little stronger. They're saying he's looking pretty damn good. And I'm going back to I pull this card a lot. He can play multiple positions along the defensive line, and the Vikings love that shit.
He can play multiple positions, but he plays them all very, very badly. So I've seen enough Jalen Holmes for my life. I don't need to see any more.
Jalen Holmes is not a guy that's going to light up the stats. He never would be. He never will be. He's just, I don't know.
I don't see any reason to keep Jalen Holmes.
Patrick Harms thinks for keeping Perry Nickerson. That could definitely be a position where they just keep like 7 of those guys because they got some damn good ones.
If we keep Perry Nickerson, I'll throw a fit.
Eric Anderson, even though he looks good strumming that guitar, he couldn't disagree with me more.
I mean, Eric Anderson, we should have some live music. He can play.
Kai Forbath. All right, well, we're going to be coming live a lot more. I don't know if Julian Marker just snorted his Sprite or what, but he's got Kai Forbath on the mind.
Was that SS? Who was drinking? I thought SS. Oh, he's drinking God's beer or whatever the hell it was.
Oh, he's drinking water. Julian Marker was drinking Sprite. Cook is surprise practice squatter. You're probably you're not far off there. I think Nate Stanley, someone tweeted it out today. It was pretty funny. He said the only reason Nate Stanley is coming back is to collect his shit.
Yes, I saw that too.
Which is probably pretty accurate.
Yeah, it's like when what's his name, Dan Lefevre, decided not to throw at the combine when he's a projected 6th-round pick.
Yeah, I think Nate Stanley is gonzo there. Monomides, WAP. Damn right. I love that.
Yeah, I know you would. You probably are Monomita in 1997.
Yeah, I like WAP filier a lot more than I should, but
you like that WAP filier.
I like that WAP filier. With preseason games coming, we're going to be doing post games. We're going to be doing pre games all throughout the damn year. I can't wait to be going live a lot more. So everybody showed up.
Unfortunately, I will not be here for the first post game.
All right. Well, I will.
I got to officiate in the wedding.
Well, maybe I'll get a special guest. Maybe I can get one of these guys to join me on the show. So that would actually be pretty damn good.
Hopefully not Patrick Harms and his weird takes. He'll probably throw a fit.
I would enjoy that. Yes, absolutely. Takeaways from this: Patrick Harms, when Hercules Mataafa does get released, send a reaction video that will go up. And no, we've not been catching any fish. Waffle Chap too.
I've got some very small sunnies, a lot of small sunnies, like this big. Some small bass too. All right, that's it. That is our first live, and God, it feels forever. It felt good. It felt right. It felt natural.
We'll be back hot and heavy. The season's just starting. Hopefully you can take in these decently gross mugs because you're going to be seeing a lot of us.
Hell yeah. Maybe we'll wear a mask next time. All right, remember this, guys, that you're waiting for the next live to get rolling. Alcohol is older than the Great Pyramid at Giza, the Roman Colosseum, Machu Picchu, the Taj Mahal, and the Great Wall of China.
But it's not older than that mayonnaise I kept in my cupboard.
Yuck.